Well, today officially makes 1 month since we finished the Smokey Mountain 500. We rode it on March 25th, 26th, and 27th. We went clockwise and started in Robbinsville, went Robbinsville to Tellico Village. From Tellico Village, abbreviated route, which we'll get into in a bit, to Suches. And then from Suches to my favorite part from what I've seen so far, Suches to Robbinsville. So a great route. Started with 7 and we finished with 6. So first things first, let's get to the route. I got to give all the props in the world to Andy Simons, who created the route. Well, I really should, I guess, say routes, because it's an ever-evolving thing with road closures and detours and everything else. So the route that we rode is the latest version that he's got on the GPX files on the Smokey Mountains 500 group. It is the, I believe it's the 9.2 version, and really had no problems navigating. We did have some road closures still on the North Carolina side, just due to the fact that the National Forest wasn't opening them up until April 1st. But other than that, everything else that we rode was open. And like I said, we did it counterclockwise. As far as lodging goes, we really did pretty well on there. We stayed at a Simple Life on the first night and the last night in Robbinsville. Alan is the owner, and it is a fantastic campground. Super nice guy. Cabins that we stayed in, really clean, nice. Couldn't have asked for no more. So it was a great place. We stayed at Cherahalla Falls on Monday night, and Wayne is the owner there. Another fantastic setup for bikes. Got up the next day and he had a really good breakfast. It stormed really bad overnight on that Monday night, and it was still raining and cold when we were getting ready to leave. And Wayne actually made the suggestion that if we were okay with time, that we should just stay one more day, and he would comp us a room for an extra day, because he was worried about trees being down on the trails. And lo and behold, he was 100% right. So we did run into trees being down, and that completely changed the route, and it changed the complexity of the route. Let's see, the third day, or actually the second night of riding, we stayed at Two Wheels of Suches. I've stayed there before in tent camp. This is the first time that we stayed in the lodge. The lodge is absolutely incredible. The one thing that we definitely learned about this ride is, if you're into moto camping, the camping possibilities on the entire loop is just incredible. Like I said, the way the route's designed right now, it's approximately about a 480-mile route. You know, give or take a few miles, give or take getting lost. Sometimes it might feel like 600 miles. But a ton of really nice campgrounds. And there were times when we were riding and it was getting like around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll look over like, man, that would be a hell of a nice place to camp right there next to the river. So unfortunately, Bald River Falls is still closed because they're replacing the bridge. But Andy made a really nice adjustment and did the big loop, the northwest corner of the map. Indian Mountain Loop or Indian Loop, I can't remember the name of it. I want to get back there and turn. But that was like about a 40-mile or so loop. Really nice. The only bad thing is you have to get on the Cherahalla You have to double the Cherahalla for a little bit, but as nice as the Cherahalla is, who's really going to complain about having to ride the Cherahalla Parkway twice? Unfortunately, on day 2, it was cut short because the storms were really bad on that Monday night. I'm thinking close to tornado type bad. And we got about, I don't know, maybe 18 miles or so into the ride, and a couple trees down, managed to get underneath them. Then we went a couple more miles, and there was 4 big trees across the road, and you're talking major chainsaws to get them cut up and moved, and winches and everything else. So that made us alternate our route, and we had to drive back, I guess about 7 miles back the other way. And it took us darn near 3 hours to get to I guess it's Webb's gas station there on the Reliance River, or in Reliance on the Hiwassee River, I should say. And that's only like a 25-mile ride from Cherahalla Falls. So at that point, we decided that just cut our losses and go ahead and take the road back. And that's what we did, which we really weren't looking forward to it because it was still pouring down rain. All of us were riding on knobbies. My tires were pretty new. I'm running with a Trustee Sport on the front and a Michelin Anchory on the back. And we really didn't want to do it, but it was just at that point we were wet, we were cold, and we knew that we were going to run into more down trees. So we made the command decision, just go ahead and take the highway back, which ultimately wasn't a good choice. So if you've seen the previous video of day 2 in the Smokey Mountain playlist, that's when you'll see that one of the guys, Mike, went down on his bike crossing the railroad tracks. I had my GoPro running at the time, but I was the last one in line, so I didn't actually catch the wreck, but it was rolling when I rolled up on him and everything. And he's doing better now. He broke a couple of ribs, nicked a lung, slight shoulder separation, had a little damage to the bike, but he's already got the bike back up and running and already been riding, and man, we're planning the next ride already. So we'll see him in a couple months, because we've got right now 5 of us doing the Mid-Atlantic Backroad Discovery Route starting on July 15th. All of the gear that I used held up and did great, with the exception of my rain jacket. Turned out it wasn't really waterproof at all, which caused me to freeze to death basically on the second stage. So, but everything else I'll review, and everything else worked good. I've just got to get me some better rain gear right now, and other than that, I'm pretty much set for the Mid-Atlantic ride when we do it. Now, as far as the route went, perfect route, not overly hard, but I say that not really having a full grasp of everything, because like I said, we did end up skipping Whit Road, which, if you've watched videos, you can see how difficult it can be. And we didn't get to ride Old Bucktown Road because of all the trees were down, and those were, from everything I gather, really the 2 hardest points of the ride. And unfortunately, we didn't get to experience either one of them. Charlie's Creek was in pretty good shape. The first creek, I don't know, maybe a foot and a half deep. It wasn't too bad. The smaller creek was nice and right across it. And the Tallulah was up a little bit, but not super deep. First time that I crossed it, and I took the wrong angle, and I didn't really realize how slippery those rocks get, especially when it starts creating a little bit of a ledge as it goes downstream. So I did have to put the boots in the water. and get straightened out a couple of times, but made it across it without any issues. So none of us took any baths in the creeks that we crossed, which was a good thing. So last year I started to do the ride solo and dropped the bike on the first day. I think I was a whopping 38 miles into it and fractured my tibia, so that was the end of the ride. But it was in an area where I had some people help me get back up and rode back to two wheels as such. As if you're going to do the 500, definitely make sure that you got an inReach or some kind of other satellite device where you can reach out for help if needed, because you never know. And there was a lot of areas up there that my Verizon just didn't have cell service. And we had a wide variety of bikes in the group. Let's see, we had 3 KLRs, 1 KTM 690, a TW200, Suzuki DR 650, and man, I'm drawing a blank on, it was a Suzuki that Tony had. I think it was the 400. So we had a wide variety. No one had any issues on the trails, you know, riding the bikes and stuff. And we just ended up riding it slow, like I'm doing now. I mean, I'm doing 30 now, and this is smooth. But our whole goal was, and I think for everybody, if you're doing adventure riding, if you're pressed for time, do it when you're not pressed for time. So that's pretty much about it for this ride. All the planning for the Mid-Atlantic over the last few days has got me back in the itch to get back on the bike. As soon as we got back from Tennessee, I had to travel to Arizona and Nashville. I was on the road for 2 weeks straight, so it's the first time I've had a chance to get back on the bike and everything. This weekend I need to change the oil on it, check the air filter, because the first day we did have a little bit of some dusty conditions and stuff. So I'll get to that this weekend and just start getting things prepped for the July ride. And I mean, that's still 2.5 months out, so obviously looking to do some more riding between here and then. Probably jump back on the Georgia Venture route, which is not too far from the lake place. So there's a couple of areas around there that I haven't got on yet, so I'll jump on there and I'll shoot some video there and give everybody a little bit of an idea of what the Georgia Venture route looks like, other than what I've already shot going south of where the lake's at. So if you're liking the content, please do us a favor and like and subscribe. We've got some plans and we'll be doing something new. I'll reveal that a little bit later. That's going to happen with the channel, and hopefully within a couple of weeks I can get that up and running. But in the meantime, we will be out doing some riding, and it is early summer, so we will definitely be out in the side-by-sides. We got a couple of camping rides planned. I think we're going to be going over to Alabama before long, and back up to Royal Blue and get back into side-by-side action. So one beautiful thing about summer, jump on the motorcycle or jump on the side-by-side. It's nice to have the options. So anyway, as usual, hope everybody's doing well and ride safe.